The supplies instrument is used to provide constant voltages to a circuit. Keep in mind that these voltages are relative to a reference ground that's internal to the discovery. Depending on the application, you may or may not want to connect that ground to your circuit. The supplies instrument can be used to provide constant voltages to a circuit. There are two supplies. One is positive relative to the ground, the other is negative. The V plus terminal provides positive voltages in the range of 0 to 5 volts relative to the internal ground. The physical interface to this terminal is the red wire on the flywire connector. The V minus terminal provides negative voltages relative to the internal ground. The voltage amplitudes can also be adjusted within a 0 to 5 volt range. The physical connector to this terminal is the white wire on the flywire connector. Both of these voltages are relative to the internal ground. The internal ground can be accessed by any of the black wires on the flywire connector. Let's start by using a single voltage supply to implement this circuit. We want to apply 4 volts to this combination of a 100 ohm resistor and an LED. Since this voltage is within the range provided by the supplies, we can use a single supply voltage. Notice that the voltage here is 4 volts higher than the voltage down here. If we choose the positive voltage supply to implement this circuit, we would place the ground, any black wire, here, and the V plus terminal, the red wire, up here. If we choose the negative voltage supply to implement this circuit, we place the ground, the black wire, here, and the V minus terminal, the white wire, down here. Now, if we set V minus to negative 4 volts relative to ground, this terminal is still 4 volts higher than this one, and we have the voltage difference that we want. This is our circuit. The 100 ohm resistor has color bands that are brown, black, brown, and gold. The LED has to be inserted so that the anode, the longer wire, is connected to the resistor. To use V plus to apply our voltage, plug the red wire into a hole that's in the same row as this terminal of the resistor, and plug the black wire into a hole that's in the same row as the diode's cathode. Now open Waveforms and select the Supplies instrument on the main welcome window. We don't need the negative supply, so disable it by clicking on the supply icon. The negative supply is now indicated as being off, and the positive is ready. Set the positive supply to 4 volts and click the Master Enable button to turn on power. The LED lights up. Note that the actual voltage is displayed just below the desired voltage. There are also a variety of metrics relative to the analog discovery's operation shown in the system monitor screen. Next, let's use the negative supply to turn on the LED. First, turn off master power. Now, change the ground to this terminal and connect the negative voltage supply to the cathode of the LED. On the supplies instrument, we can now turn off the positive supply and enable the negative supply. Set the negative supply to negative 4 volts and click the Master Enable button to turn power on. The LED lights up again. Now let's try applying a voltage that's outside the 0 to 5 volt range. It's possible to do this by using both supply voltages simultaneously. In this circuit, for example, we want to apply 9 volts to our resistor LED combination. We can do this with our supplies instrument by taking advantage of the internal ground on the discovery, which is indicated by this symbol here. We can use the positive voltage supply, set equal to 5 volts, to apply this 5 volt source. The negative voltage supply, V minus is equal to minus 4 volts can be applied down here to get this to be negative 4 volts relative to ground. The voltage difference between these terminals is now 9 volts, since 5 volts minus a negative 4 volts is equal to 9 volts. The ground here is not connected to our circuit. This is all inside the analog discovery. We'll modify our circuit to put the red wire, the positive voltage supply, here, and leave the white wire, the negative voltage supply, at the diode's cathode. Now go back to the supplies instrument, set the positive supply to 5 volts. The negative supply is already at negative 4 volts. Make sure both supplies are enabled, and click the Master Enable button. 9 volts is now applied across the circuit and the LED lights up. Any power supply has limited power that it can provide. Trying to draw too much power generally results in reduced voltage and/or current. To illustrate the Analog Discovery 3's response to excessive power requirements, I replaced the resistor in the previous circuit with a much lower resistance. This will cause the circuit to draw more power from the Analog Discovery 3. Waveforms is already set up to apply 9 volts across the circuit. When I turn on power, the desired voltages and actual voltages are displayed as before. But in this case, the actual voltages are significantly lower than the desired voltages. Also, note that a red dot is displayed next to the actual voltages to indicate that the power limitations of the device are exceeded.